Welcome to a new AI agent tutorial. In this tutorial, what we're going to do, it is the first part of an AI agent tutorial series, which is AI agent framework benchmark. And this is the first video, and in this video we're going to test CrewAI. So what we're going to do, we will build an AI stock analyst. And here is what the analyst is going to do. And in all the other tutorials we are going to do in this series, we want to do the exact same task with the exact same task with different AI agent frameworks. So, and the first framework is, yes, it is CrewAI. So, what we're going to build is, we want to have an agent which is getting ticker information from the Yahoo Finance API. Then it will receive the Warren Buffett principles from a file which I prepared here. The Warren Buffett principles which I prepared here. It's like that he prefers value stocks, that he wants to buy undervalued stocks, that he tries to take care of the dividend policy, things like that. And we want to apply all of these Warren Buffett investment principles to a given stock. And then based on those principles, we want buy recommendation. But this you will see soon how it works. I'm going to show you. So then at the end, we got the principles. Then we want to analyze the stock based on those principles, and we want to write the results to a file. This is what's gonna happen. And yeah, so I already prepared the code for us, and I will just explain it step by step. Then I will explain you, then I'm gonna run it, and we're gonna see the results, and then I explain you, then we just do the benchmark and see how this tool performed, the AI agent framework. So basically, for CrewAI you have to install some libraries. Of course you have to install CrewAI and CrewAI tools. That's what you need. And yes, then we're gonna start with the agents and then later with the tools. So in CrewAI, as I already explained in some previous tutorials, which you can check out, when you define agents, you give them a role, a goal, and a backstory. A role, goal, and a backstory. So in this case, we're gonna have two agents. We have the stock research manager and the senior stock analyst. The stock research manager will kind of oversee the full process of getting the data and then pass all the data that he got to the stock analyst, which will apply the principles of Warren Buffett. And one thing, so the goal is gather relevant stock news and data, and the backstory is you are a methodical manager supervising stock research. You prevent process loops and maintain high quality output. You can put a lot of more information here and like more details if you like, but as those frameworks we're going to use are quite difficult and have quite different, and have different concepts of how they apply those agents, I try to keep it as simple as possible. So this is the stock research manager, and then we have the senior stock analyst. When you define agents and when you talk to large language models like ChatGPT or Claude, it's always good to define a role, and you make your role even more precise if you add something like senior or like experienced. This gives the model more context, and he already knows that this analyst is like a professional. So the goal is analyze the provided stock data and news to give investment advice. The backstory: you are an AI-powered senior analyst applying Warren Buffett's investment principles. You are very strict with your recommendation and only recommend the best stocks. So quite simple. Yeah, this is pretty basic. Here, two things is, if you put, this is like something special I would say for CrewAI. If you put here verbose equals true, then you get much more output information. If you put it to false, you basically only get the results, but this is difficult for debugging. Of course, we want to use tools. We want to use two tools in total. One tool will like read the file, and the other tool will do an API call and call the Yahoo Finance API. But in CrewAI, you can define the tools on the agent level and on the task level. And I usually prefer to do it on the task level. Yes. If you do it on the agent level, the agent decides whenever he wants. The agent performs different tasks, so the agent will decide on which task he will use which tool. But usually, the more freedom you give the agents, the more room is there for errors, or that they once do it like this, next run they do it in a different way. For avoiding that, I like to define the tools on the task level. I will show you that soon. That's this. In this case, we put memory for true, so that means that they remember what they were writing and what they were doing. And of course, the agent model. For the agent model, we're gonna use GPT-4o Mini. That's very nice of CrewAI. It's pretty easy to define the agent model. So we take the model of ChatGPT OpenAI. We take OpenAI, the GPT-4o Mini model. I like to work with the smaller models because they're usually a lot faster, and of course they're a lot less expensive. If you go through trouble, like they don't really understand what you want to do, I always recommend that you just try a more powerful model. In this case would be the 4o model without the Mini. And yeah, if it then works, you can try to improve your prompts. If it does not work, probably you did an error with your prompting or with the tool setup. Okay, so those were our two agents. If things are too fast, don't worry, I put all the code in the description of the video, so you can get all the code. It's totally for free. You can always use it, and you can of course adjust it to your needs. So, next thing, the task definition. So the first thing is what we want is to get the ticker information. With a ticker, I mean the stock, for example, Nvidia. So, for a given ticker, here we put in the picture ticker, fetch the data from Yahoo Finance and return data to the next agent. Return the data to the next agent. And here's the data that we want it to analyze, or like to proceed to the next agent. So we have the ticker symbol, the company name, yeah, and so on and so on. And yes, this information will be then used for the analysis. How we get this data? We're going to use a tool, which is the Yahoo Finance Stock Data tool. We imported it from our tools folder, and here it is how it looks like. Here we have our stock analysis tool, which we're going to use to get the data from the Yahoo Finance API. We use the pip library Yahoo Finance. So it's pretty simple what it's doing actually. It will receive the ticker symbol, for example Apple, which is AAPL, and then it's gonna run and get the data from, and get all these stock data from the API. Yeah, I wrote this tool with the help of ChatGPT, so it's very easy, very straightforward. It was very fast because it knows all of these libraries, like the yfinance library. And yeah, that's basically it. You can check it out and ask ChatGPT for help if you don't understand specific parts of the tool. Okay, so now let's continue. So we had our first task. Actually, we only have 2 tasks, I guess. Yes, we only have 2 tasks. So the second task is the second part is that you get the Warren Buffett principles, and it got the data passed from the previous agent, all of this KPI data of the stock, and then it's gonna process those. So first you get the Warren Buffett investment principles by using the file read tool. The file read tool is a native tool of CrewAI, which you import from CrewAI tools, is like the file read tool. And for the file read tool, you then define the path to the file. You can do it even differently. You can even define it to give it like a folder, and then you say, okay, I want this file, that file, this file. Then you don't have to be that specific. So in this case, I defined the full file path. And yes, then you provide a comprehensive analysis of the ticker, write short and concise the pros why Warren Buffett would invest in this company and the cons why he wouldn't. Then summarize the company evaluation and provide a recommendation. Then you give a Warren Buffett buy recommendation from 0 to 10. 10 is best. So basically what we want is, it's better explained here in the output, in the expected output, because this is very nice in CrewAI. You define again very clearly what you expect, how you expect the output to be structured. First, you give it a general description and then the expected output. This is something I really like of the CrewAI framework. So our structure is very simple. We have the pros why Warren Buffett would invest in the company. We have the cons why Warren Buffett wouldn't invest in the company. We have the company evaluation company, which is like a summary of the pro and the con. And we have the Warren Buffett buy recommendation. Yes. And at the end, we have I forgot to define that. We want to define an output file. I did define that. Expected output. No, we did not define the output file. So we want output file is copy relative path. So we have to add the output file, which is then stock analysis.txt. This is another thing which is very nice of CrewAI. If you want to have your results outputted to a specific file, you can just define output file path and then you do it. Actually, I don't think that it's output file path in this case. I think it's only output file. So that's only that. Okay. Good. I think we are good. Okay, some more things, of course, yes. To set up the crew. Something I like a lot with CrewAI too. It's like you have the agents, which is the stock research manager and senior stock analyst, the two agents we defined here. Then you put the tasks. By default, CrewAI is processing the task sequentially. That you have sequentially and hierarchically. If you choose hierarchically, then the manager agent will decide when to perform which task. If it's sequentially, it will be just like task by task by task by task, exactly in this order which you put here. And here we define the process, which is sequential. Then what we need to do is to kick off the crew, and we give it the ticker symbol. In this case, it's Ultra Beauty, but we want to use NVIDIA for now. NVIDIA. And then we want it to print the crew usage matrix, which we will want to use for our benchmark. And we use agent ops to monitor the process. By default, CrewAI now uses agent ops. You need an agent ops key, and there are two things that you have to do if you want to use agent ops. First thing is you have to import it, and then you have to initialize it. And I initialized it with stock research. It's very nice because it calculates you the cost of your run, and you can use it for easily debugging your AI agent processes. So yeah, I think we are good, and of course, yes, I want to track the time, how long it takes, so then later I can compare it with the other frameworks. So I would say let's see and give it a try. We just gonna run it. I think I explained you everything now. So yeah, this is agent ops. If you open that, you're gonna see a rundown of the full session, and here it got the data from the yfinance API, and then it cannot open the file. Warren Buffett. Okay, I cannot do that. Yes, I'm sorry. I changed something here. This file is not correct. So copy relative path. Zack, and then I'm gonna paste it here. Okay. Now we just run it again and see what's going to happen. Again, we got the data from the API. Then this time it works. It's including the principles from the investment principles of Warren Buffett. And now it's writing the analysis of the stock. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So concerning the NVIDIA stock, it would give a rating, I guess, of 7. We have the pros, why NVIDIA would be a good buy: strong competitive advantage, high profit margin, robust revenue and earnings. And we have the cons: the high valuation ratio, the PA ratio is 74, and this is very high. So it may be overvalued. NVIDIA seems to be high depth. The stock is like changing a lot. It's very volatile, and usually Warren Buffett likes to invest in stocks with high dividends. So in this case, the dividends from NVIDIA are not that high, I guess. So let's see where the dividends here. The dividend yield is very low. Yes, so that worked perfectly. Let's see if we actually have the output file. We have the xdoc analysis txt. And yes, here we have the whole output again. So everything what I wanted to achieve so far worked pretty well. And it took like 24 seconds. And now I just gonna go through with you through the benchmark. So this run cost us $0.0684. Yeah, here it costs 683,684. Yeah, pretty much the same in this run when I personally run it. So that means it's like, that would be 1 cent, 0.06 cents. Yeah. So basically nothing. Very, very cheap, because we use the cheapest model of OpenAI, which is pretty cheap. Then we have the total tokens, which is the total tokens. Yeah, here you see the total tokens were like 6,122. And it did like 5 requests to the OpenAI. And yes, we wrote like 124 lines of codes only for the structure of the main code without the tools. For the tools we need 86 lines of codes, and it had some tricky parts which you had to know. It's not like you have to do a little research to find out these things. So you have to know that you have to set the output file, and you don't have to do like a workaround like export the data now or something like that. Then one thing that I did forget, we had to set delegation to false here. This agent, because this agent we want to delegate something to the next agent, but our senior stock analyst should only analyze the stock, should not do anything further, should not gather more information. So here we had to set allow delegation to false. That means that this agent will not be able to delegate anything to other agents. And yeah, then we had to use the mini. It's in the documentation examples, it's not that clear how you can use a different model. It is very easy to do it actually if you know how to do it. And the custom usage, the tool of the concerning the custom tools, the docs were not very clear how to use those custom tools. So I recommend you, if you want to use custom tools, use like my code here as a basis and then ask ChatGPT to adjust it to your needs, because this base structure has to be quite in this way. You can see it in their docs. They have actually 2 ways how you can do it, but it's not so straight. For me personally, it was not very clear which one I should use when and how. Yeah, that's it. So the libraries you need to install to make it work is Yahoo Finance, CrewAI and CrewAI Tools. And the execution time, I ran it 3 times, was like 20, 26, 25. Here in this case, it's almost 25 too. And my average was like 23.5 seconds to run the whole workflow. Yeah, that's it. In my next video, I'm gonna talk about LangChain. I will build the same process with the LangChain framework. Actually, CrewAI is built on top on LangChain. So I'm very curious how the results will be, because at the end, what we want to find the perfect agent framework for your needs, as there are several ones. We want to test the most known ones. Okay, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, feel free to like it and maybe even subscribe, and see you in the next one. Ciao.